The general surrenders the tiger tally that accompanied him through 10 years of war. He returns home, removes the armor he never took off, grabs his spear in anguish, and carves Man Jianghong into the wall. His black hair instantly turns completely white. He decides to leave for good, abandoning the Empress he faithfully served for 10 years. At this moment, the Empress remains completely oblivious. She believes he cannot leave her, still dreaming of their grand wedding. But what awaits her instead is an empty general's mansion. The man was originally appointed by the late emperor as regent minister. The late emperor knew his daughter was too weak to shoulder great responsibility to prevent the Deqian dynasty from falling into ruin under her rule. On his deathbed, he gave the man his daughter's marriage contract, instructing him to replace the princess if she proved incapable. The man swore before the late emperor to faithfully assist the princess and protect the Deqian realm, but the emperor still worried the woman's temperament would fail the general. So the general had the late emperor bestow 12 gold medallions, promising that no matter what mistake she made, as long as she presented a medallion, he would forgive her 12 times. In the 3 years after the empress ascended the throne, the man led the royal army north, victorious in every battle, invincible wherever he went. His army even struck at the Jin kingdom's heartland. But just as the realm was about to be unified, the empress issued 6 consecutive edicts, forcing the man to withdraw. He intended to refuse, citing the principle that generals in the field need not obey all commands. But the eunuch delivering the edict produced a gold medallion. Upon seeing the medallion, remembering his oath, he had no choice but to return to the capital. But as soon as he prepared to enter the palace, guards stopped him because the empress had specifically decreed that he must remove his sword before entering. But the sword he carried was the emperor's sword bestowed by the empress herself. She had once promised him he could wear his sword in the palace. But at that moment, the soldier also produced a gold medallion, forcing him to relinquish his sword. Seeing the medallion, he could only sigh deeply.
当时君臣不义，这12道金牌本该毫无用处，如今却被你一次次如同儿戏般用来压制我。罢了，我本就那样一不义，如今12与3，3次之后，君臣情分若尽，我回归乡野，亦无愧于先帝。
When he arrived at the main hall, he immediately questioned the empress. Victory was at hand. The realm was about to be unified. Why at this critical moment did she force him back? Little did he know. The empress had believed the treacherous minister Qin Gui's slander, claiming that if the man returned victorious, no one could balance the general's power, and her throne would be at risk. The self-righteous empress believed imperial power should rest in her hands, so she ordered the general to return to court. Qin Gui also spoke up for the empress, claiming years of war had made the people suffer unbearably. Moreover, the Jin kingdom was now offering peace. The empress was thinking of the people. Hearing this, the man could no longer control his emotions. The Jin kingdom was already on its last legs. Making peace now would ensure they'd return with a vengeance, so the man led a group of veteran ministers, petitioning the empress to continue the campaign. But this scene only reinforced the empress's belief in Qin Gui's words. To make the man submit, she produced another gold medallion. At that moment, the man simply bowed his head, reluctantly admitting fault to the empress, then rose and left the hall alone. That evening, the empress returned to her chambers. She also reflected on whether her actions in court that day were correct. But then Qin Gui offered more poisonous counsel, telling the empress, imperial power is about to return to your hands. Just summon the imperial guard tomorrow. During the peace negotiations, when court convened the next day, the empress announced that to demonstrate their sincerity in seeking peace, the Jin kingdom had sent a fierce tiger from the western regions, so she invited all ministers to view it together. But when the yellow cloth was lifted, the cage contained only a dog.
陛下，看来金蛮议和，诚意十足啊！
At this, several veteran ministers immediately protested. This is clearly a dog. How can it be called a tiger? But the empress had them all stripped of their posts. Then she asked the man, what creature was in the cage? At that moment, the man understood the empress's meaning.
与金蛮谈和之事，陛下自决。
Seeing the man finally willing to yield, she seized the opportunity to demand he surrender the military tally and cede his position as general to Qin Gui. But the man pleaded once more for the nation's safety, stating that without his deterrent presence, making peace with Jin kingdom would mean losing sovereignty and territory, ceding land and paying reparations. But Qin Gui slandered the general, claiming his refusal to surrender the tally was to intimidate the empress. Hearing this, the empress deemed him arrogant in his achievements and produced the final gold medallion, forcing the man to surrender the tally. At this moment, the man's heart completely died toward the Empress. He retrieved from his waist the tiger tally that had been with him for over 10 years and resigned from all his positions. His heart dead as ash, he turned and left. Even then, the Empress believed she had done right. Now she finally held absolute power. It was time to fulfill her marriage contract with the man. Little did she know, the man had long given up on the Empress. He sat drunk before the general's mansion. In his fury, he grabbed his spear. With all his life's power, carved Yufei's man Jiang Hong into the wall.
救山河，
By this point, the man had lost all will. Thinking of the Deqin dynasty's imminent collapse, his black hair instantly turned completely white. Then he changed into ordinary clothes, preparing to return to the mountains. Meanwhile, the Empress still believed the man had finally yielded, riding in her palanquin to bring the man into the palace for their wedding.
不必，朕亲自来。青之哥哥，青之哥哥，请君来接你入宫了，青之哥哥。